We are at for what is going to be the last part of the interior build on the OG Silverado. It's come such a long way, but today is going to be epic. Let's go. So we are at for what I hope is the last step in the OG Silverado interior build. Over the last few weeks, we've done a lot. We've gutted the entire interior and lined every square inch of it in Dynamat and Kilomat. We've upgraded the radio stereo system with the Sony AX7000 unit. We have an under the seat subwoofer, and every little rattle on the interior is dealt with. And I also will say I did sneak a first drive in this truck. It's completely different. This thing feels newer than the brand new truck behind me. And in our last video, we've wrapped every trim panel that we could in this carbon fiber R vinyl wrap. This stuff is so cool, and it makes it feel completely different, taking care of those ugly silver trim pieces on the gauge cluster, radio bezel, all the way to the window switches here. This truck is coming along so well. Now in today's video, we are going to be installing one thing you have been requesting since day one, which is actually a reverse camera. But before we get to that, we do actually have some bad news. Unfortunately, none of the bad news has anything to do with cars. It has to do with banana trees. As you might have known, we underwent quite the freeze here in Texas several weeks ago, and my banana trees died. All the banana trees I had here in the front didn't come back this spring. The one that did come back is looking pretty healthy. We have 3 sprouts coming off of it, looking real good. Oh, no, we got 4 sprouts, guys. And my dad was kind enough to give me some more banana trees from his yard to drop back in place of the ones that died from the freeze. I'm kind of upset about that. Yes, your crazy local Hawaiian Texan has banana trees in Texas. Step 1, we're gonna get the banana trees planted in place, and then get on to the OG. It's time to finish this interior up. I know my dad watches these videos, so Pops, thank you for the banana trees. They are in, they look freaking good. Time to get to the truck. All right, so since we're working in the back, I gotta move the truck forward. I forget where the heck we're putting a reverse camera. Just gonna drill a hole, stick it in there, plug it in, we're good to go. That's how it works, right? Maybe. So for the reverse camera, this is what we got going in the truck. This is basically a bullet reverse camera. Basically, drill a hole, pop it in, plug it in, it should be good to go. Got it off summitracing.com. It's Brandmotion 9002-7612. I'll put a link in the description below if you guys do want this exact one. I don't know anything about reverse cameras. I don't think this is special in any way. It was just on Summit, and Summit sent me a hat and a sticker. So naturally, I now go buy everything from Summit because I love my hat and my sticker. So this is the camera. I don't know exactly where I'm gonna mount this just yet. I know a lot of people buy that aftermarket cover here that has the camera, and you can, it somewhat looks stock. I actually don't like the camera up here, so I'm gonna try to put it somewhere near the license plate. Fortunately, when we did wire the radio in, I was preparing for this reverse camera, and I went ahead and ran the wire up behind the dash, down underneath the trim, and actually it pops out right here. So basically we just gotta start from here and figure out how to get to the back and then hook it up to, I believe, the reverse lights. You tap it into reverse lights. That way, when the reverse lights have power turn on, it automatically triggers the radio to go into the camera mode. So that's the plan anyway. So let's figure out how the heck we're gonna do this, and we'll be right back after these messages. So what I'm doing right now is trying to figure out what side's the positive, what side's the negative on the wires here. And I'm gonna caveat this with, I'm not an expert nor a professional. I am a DIY guy in my garage, and I'm gonna go ahead and tap into the wires here. So I believe the solid black wire is in fact the positive. I thought it was gonna be the other way around. There's a black with white stripe and then a solid black wire on the reverse light terminal. I'm gonna go ahead and tap into the solid black to draw power for the reverse camera to trigger the radio to go into reverse camera mode. I want to make sure that works before I go through the whole wiring deal. So let's go ahead and try that quick and pray I don't blow this thing up. right, so we have our quick test. Got this piece here. I'm just gonna clip this to that. And again, another caveat, not a professional, but I'm figuring it out as I go, and still alive, so I think we're good. So there's no power on, truck is off, we're good. And solid black wire side, just stick that in there. I got a block on the tire, it's in reverse, emergency brakes on, roll forward. So this should be pulling 12 volts once I ground this side. Yeah, there it is, 12 volts, awesome. So the wiring kit we got with the camera came with this really long cable, which should reach back here no problem. And it has a plug where the camera goes. So basically the camera just plugs in here, straightforward. Now this side has a red and a black wire. What we're gonna do with these, I believe, is tap into the reverse light, and I'm hoping that's gonna trigger the radio to go into reverse mode. I'm gonna go ahead and hook the positive up to where I just stuck into this terminal, and I'm gonna ground the negative side, throw it in reverse, and see what happens up front once the camera's hooked up. All right, so we got a reverse camera here. I got this side, it's just a simple plug. Simple. By the way, best investment I have ever made. I love this wire stripper. I've been doing this stuff since I was like a teenager. So if you see a big spark and a boom and a flame, please call 911. Yes! We are in reverse. Reverse light is on. Obviously there's no plug in there. We've wired everything together. And voila. There it is. We have our camera. That is extremely vivid. Wow, that's not bad for a cheap camera. So put it in park. That goes away. Throw it in reverse. Boom. Yes. How about drive? Yep. Reverse. There we go, guys. We got a reverse camera. Now the only issue is I wish I could access this when I'm just driving to check behind me, because that's what that truck allows me to do, and it's nice. But it looks like because I don't have power there, that's not available. That's fine, I can figure that out another day. I don't want to wire it up to somewhere that has power all the time because it'll think it's in reverse all the time and want to show the camera. So we're good to go from here, guys. My little Hawaiian redneck invention actually worked. So no need for that. So this wire's got to come back this way. I got to go through the floor, up underneath the bed, down the frame rail to the back here. And I'm just going to tap in to the reverse light right there and then put everything back together. Hi! Oh no, number 2. Promise. OSHA approved labor. Free labor. Bye. We're now in the truck. We kind of came through the exact location here. So what I actually had to do was cut the wires because the harness on that side was just too big to go through the floor. I'm not willing to drill a big hole in here. So I went and cut those wires at the smallest point. I'm gonna go ahead and get these back together, tuck it underneath the carpet, that'll be good. We'll clean up underneath and get it hooked up in the rear. All right, so that wire has been run all the way down. We have it through the floorboard, across the frame rail, and all the way to the rear here. We've tapped into the positive side of my reverse light, got it to ground. And also, if you are curious about these reverse lights, these are LOSFIT reverse lights. I'll put a link in the description below if you are curious about these. I run LOSFITs in every single one of my vehicles, and they're amazing. So from the reverse camera, I just checked it. It still works. It's hanging down right here because we got to figure out where we're going to mount this on the rear bumper. Yes, we're gonna put it on the bumper. I don't want it on the tailgate. Plus, the wires won't reach. The wires are completely taut all the way through, and that's as far as it goes. So it's gonna be here somewhere. So let's get the tail lamp back into this part. The biggest pain in the Okole is gonna be these sting screws. I hate doing these, but let's get the tail lamp back in there and then drill a hole for our new reverse camera. So I really want this camera to blend in with the rear, and I don't want it to like stand out super badly. So we're actually gonna put it right here. So we have our trailer hook up here, and it actually fits perfectly in this slot. So we're gonna drill right there. We're gonna pop this in, put it right through there, and then wire it up, and we'll be good. Hopefully, good. Any, mini, money, mo. Smoke! You put a little bit of paint on there because a little bit of exposed metal because I did it the wrong way, but it turned out really good. So I did that totally the wrong way, but fortunately the Dremel came in and saved my butt. So there is the hole we're going to mount the camera in. So it should fit. I tried it a second ago. So we're gonna let that paint dry up all the way and then stick this guy right in there, get the wire through, hook it up, and we'll be good. So this is kind of like a self-locking mechanism to where you get it in there, it'll pop itself in place, and if I ever need it out, you just basically pull it out. Hopefully that stays in there for good. We'll see. You know what? I really like how that turned out. That looks so clean. You wouldn't think that this has a camera, and then voila, right there. So for the moment of truth. And it's upside down. So we'll just go ahead and spin that girl around there. Reverse. Beauty. There it is, guys. Reverse camera is installed. That was kind of a pain. That is sweet. I love that. Now, one other piece here on the rear end that I have that I haven't told you guys about is this right here. So these are just some Amazon purchased license plate lights. So initially I do have LEDs in here, but what's happening with these, as all these Chevys do, like this will not stay in. It's because this plastic is just basically worn down to nothing. So I'm hoping that I can replace it with these bad boys and it will actually stay in there. These are cool, they're plug and play. You're just gonna plug that in and you have your lights. Ooh, those are bright. Heck yeah. Well, there we go. That works for sure. Basically, it just plugs directly into the socket here, and then we'll put that into the housing and then pop it right back in place. Boom. There you go. So if I can find that link, I will put it in the description below so you can check it out for yourself. Those are pretty cheap. It's like 15 bucks or so. But yeah, we have our reverse camera in. License plate lights. The wires are run through the floor. We can finally put this guy back in its place. This can go back down. And by the way, yes, I do need an amplifier. I have now decided that radio is advertised that it can power a 12-inch subwoofer off the built-in amplifier on the inside. That's why I paid more for it. But this really doesn't bump much at all. It's clear as can be, but I want a little bit more bass. If I have this back here, I might as well have an amplifier. So that will come. All right, so I think it's finally time for you guys to go for our first drive in this completely transformed interior. It just feels like an entirely new truck, guys. Let's go for a drive. Okay, I'm sorry I lied to you guys. I actually need a truckload of dirt ASAP, like right now. And the place closes in 30 minutes and it's 25 minutes away, so I really need to just shut up and go. We gotta get dirt. Let's go get dirt. So we're at a slight complex. My fuel level isn't great, and we're about to put a yard of dirt. Oh, the good stuff. That's the good stuff. Look at that topsoil. Woo! She heavy. All right, rough country. Hopefully you hang up. Woo! Squat Nation in the house. This looks terrible. I know this is a thing for some people. I think Whistle and Diesel actually is doing something like this or destroying a truck that looks like this. I'm not sure exactly. But Squat Nation is not my nation. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's never gonna look like this unless there is a ton of dirt in the bed. And yeah, it's not that great. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to that place. Let's do this quick and we'll get back actually for our first and maiden voyage. It is so good. I keep holding it from you, but it's so good. All right, guys, truck is back in, and I have a little divot in my backyard now because I got a little too ambitious with the throttle. So we're just flying down this gravel road now. I remember taking this gravel road weeks ago, and the truck was just rattling to high heaven. Like you couldn't even hear yourself think it was so loud, but now it just feels so insulated, solid, put together, as if like rubber bushings were just replaced from metal on metal contact. It's amazing. I love how this turned out. If you review back the few weeks of work that we did, I say few weeks, actually it's been quite several weeks. What we've done over the last several weeks, we tore the old broken up dash completely out of the truck, replaced it with a brand new OEM dash from Chevrolet, order from GM parts store. That in itself could have been a project and been done, because this completely changed how I feel here from the driver's seat, because for years, ever since I owned this truck, I've been staring at this cracked dash, and I learned to live with it, but I'm so happy that I finally dealt with it and replaced it. So that was done. We tore the entire interior out of the truck. We lined every square inch of the floor, the roof, and behind the rear seats in Dynamat and Kilomat. And to be honest, if I had to do it again, I would, because it's made such a difference in just the feel as you drive. The truck feels so much more solid and insulated. As far as the road noise, it's just cut down altogether. The noise from the tires, I'm kind of shouting right now, which is unnecessary because it's so quiet in here. I can just talk to you guys. This is quite awesome. Now, one thing I'm surprised about is the exhaust. I expected the exhaust to be toned down quite a bit because of all the Dynamat and Kilomat. That hasn't been toned down. I still have quite a bit of drone in the cab, and yes, it's a Borla XR1 racing muffler. It's essentially just a straight through muffler, and it's dumped at the rear axle, so it does echo off the ground. So I was asking for it. It does in fact drone. That's fine. I expected that. Now from there, we replaced our old silly Sony head unit with a brand new Sony AX7000. This one's advertised with a built-in amplifier. That's why we paid more for it. I will say I am on the fence about how much I like this quote-unquote built-in amplifier, because it's not that great. So I will eventually get an amplifier for this thing. This truck feels so solid now. I distinctly remember driving these exact same roads with my old dash and setup, and like tiptoeing around some of the bumps and slowing down and dodging the potholes. Now I try to aim for the potholes, because it just feels so solid. You hit a big bump, which used to just destroy my dash. Now it's as if I'm driving like a Razor or something with like a really long travel suspension, and it just feels super solid. It was a ton of work to get here, but every bit of work was totally worth it. And our last and final piece on the interior was our carbon fiber wrap trim. This was a lot of work to get this how I wanted it, but it turned out so good. Everything looks so uniform and so unique. No other truck looks like this, especially that radio bezel there and our climate control, where it typically never matches up with aftermarket radios. Now guys, I do apologize, we're jumping around quite a bit, and one thing I did fail to walk through was right there. It just kind of blends right in. I'm really happy with the location we ended up going with. I do know they do make these bezels where it has a camera built in. I didn't want it up here because it doesn't look very clean to me, but it's also much less functional. That's one thing I will caveat. Putting it down there doesn't really help much when it comes to like backing up to a trailer. The reason I put it there, or the reason I have a camera period, is number one, I have a really long driveway. Now, along with that long driveway comes two kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and both are wicked fast. So when I'm backing down my driveway, when I'm backing into my garage, my worst fear is them sprinting out of the house behind the truck as I'm backing up. And this is my only vehicle without a reverse camera, so as I'm backing up, I'm just depending upon that view there. I wouldn't see them if they did run behind the truck. So the whole purpose of having this is as I reverse, I have confidence that there's nothing behind me. But also the picture is surprisingly vibrant. It's not super clear, but it is very bright. So the camera's from Brandmotion, summitracing.com. I think it was like 60 or 70 bucks. I'll link in the description below, but there's nothing special about the camera. You can hook up any camera to this head unit, and most aftermarket head units does have an input for a reverse camera. So pick your poison. I chose it because it was available, it was cheap, and it fit my need to literally look out behind me as I revert. Speak of the devil, like literally, this is the issue. So that's done, guys. That is done. I am so excited to have the interior done because this was honestly something I didn't really look forward to, because it's a lot of tedious work that's really not seen but is felt. So I'm happy I did it. We can continue on with stage 2 of this build, which is going back to the suspension and replacing our rough country lift on this thing. I want to get bigger tires, I want to get better wheels, I want a more functional suspension, and that's where we're going to go. And this thing is going to be absolutely nuts. Thank you guys so much for the support. If you haven't joined the Lonestar Hawaiian family just yet, scroll down, hit the subscribe button below, join the Lonestar Hawaiian family. If you enjoyed this one, if you enjoyed the series, please smash that like button below as well. Helps the channel out tremendously. So that's going to do it, guys. We are heading back home because it's time to eat some donuts, because it is donut day. But as always, guys, we will see you in a few days for our next video. Until that day comes, y'all take care and aloha.